moving on.
My pants are real short. I gotta adjust. Feeling conscious, self-conscious.
Did you actually sign these?
Yeah.
Oh.
Did the Wi-Fi password change? Has it always been love heart?
Yeah, we're good.
I was surprised.
6:31, we'll start the regularly scheduled Cordova Recreation and Park District board meeting.
Members of the public can view the meeting live on YouTube, and the link is posted on the agenda. Members of the public are hereby notified that meetings of the Board of Directors are recorded. Requests for the video and audio recordings may be made to the clerk of the board. At this time, I'd like to welcome up Matt Zimmerling, Recreation Supervisor 2 for the Cordova Recreation and Park District. After the pledge, Recreation Superintendent Chase Michelaudio will say a few words.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, Chair Langen and members of the board. Tonight I'm pleased to introduce Recreation Supervisor Matt Zimmerling. Matt oversees our youth development programs and has been instrumental in the success of our Outdoor Adventures and Teen Adventure Group, TAG, working closely with our outstanding program coordinator, Morgan Schaefer. With support from the Outdoor Equities Grant Program through the California State Parks, our teens have enjoyed incredible outdoor experiences over the past several years, including nature-based trips, educational workshops, meaningful volunteer projects that all truly inspire environmental stewardship. TAG now has nearly 40 members, some of whom are featured here on the cover of our newly released Spring and Summer Recreation Guide, while on a kayaking trip at Lake Natoma. To date, we've invested more than $130,000 in funding for high-quality programming, and we're excited for what's ahead, which includes whitewater rafting, paddleboard yoga, and backpacking adventures. So thank you to California State Parks for supporting this important initiative, and thank you, a special thank you, to Morgan and Matt for creating an engaging, educational, and unforgettable opportunities for our TAG participants. Thank you, and thank you, Matt.
On to item 2, standing action item SB 707 requests. This is the portion of the meeting where we deal with any requests to join remotely through SB 707. We received no requests under the emergency cause provisions and will list it as no action taken.
Roll call? Roll call?
Director Sloan?
Present.
Director Danzel?
Here.
Secretary Yearwood?
Here.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Here.
Chair Langen?
Here. And comments by the public?
Members of the public may address the board on topics within the district's jurisdiction that are not listed on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. It is a violation of state law for the board to discuss or take action on non-agenda items. Board members may only briefly ask clarifying questions or refer the matter to staff. At this time, we have received no speaker cards. However, is there anyone who would like to make a public comment on this item? There is no public comment on this item.
C, consent calendar.
Consent calendar items are considered administratively routine and will be acted upon in one motion unless separate action on a specific item is necessary. The chairperson will consider any request for discussion on the items prior to approval of the consent calendar. This evening, we have 3 items for consideration. At this time, we have received no speaker cards for this item. Is there anyone here that would like to make a public comment? All right, seeing none, we can move on.
Are there any items board members would like to pull? No? Can we get a motion?
Chair Legan, I'll make the motion that we approve consent calendar items C1 through C3.
I'll second it.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Newwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye. And then G, regular calendar.
Item G1, authorize the general manager to sign the temporary easement to enter and construct and letter agreement establishing restoration requirements with Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency and allow the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers access to the northern portion of the Larchmont Community Park, APN 07500100050, for the purpose of constructing Contract 3B of the 2016 American River Common Features 2016 project. At this time, we have received one speaker card. And we have also received 2 written comments from Pete Spalding and Nancy Mistern from AmericanRiverTrees.org, which were sent directly to the board on Monday, January 19th, and Tuesday, January 20th. Those are available in front of you for your review. We will now welcome up Nancy Mistern. You will have 3 minutes for your public comment.
Thank you very much. I'm representing myself individually, not as with American River Trees. It's a personal comment, and my letter was also a personal comment. Thank you for welcoming me. I appreciate the parks. I like your cup. Thank you. And happy birthday, Rick Sloan. I'm concerned about the location of the core work on the park, and I've talked to you about this before, especially with the significant environmental impacts. O.W. Erlewine Elementary School is TK through 6th grade, about 300 students. TK is preschool classes, and they are within 300 feet of the park. This project may take 1 to 3 years, as I understand it, and we won an injunction in the local court recently, and it's now being challenged. I am upset personally by the amount of what's called significant environmental impacts that are unavoidable. I don't believe they're unavoidable, so I hope they take effort to make them mitigated for the health of all of our community and the park as well. Included in those significant and unavoidable impacts includes noise, vibration, and those affect those houses that are real close to the haul route. I'm about 25 feet away, and they said if you're out 70 feet, you don't have to worry about it. So those are my personal worry. But when it comes to the school, there is more things to worry about, and their health issues. One is the greenhouse gases. That's carbon dioxide, noxious oxide, cause heating and lead to global warming and climate change, not so directly effective to us now, or affecting to us now. Particulate matter is the mix of solids and liquids that get in the air and that can enter your lungs and your bloodstream. The smallest one now is 2.5 particulate matter that they talk about, and that can do long-term health issues. And because this population so close to the park and to the core work and to the big equipment and construction are at risk, I hope that you work with the Corps and can get them to work with you to make this no danger at all to the population, especially those kids. And I appreciate all the work you do. I'm here to say thank you very much for our parks and keeping them the way you do. If you have any questions, you are welcome to call me. I'd be glad to talk with anybody, especially the birthday boy. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comments. We really appreciate
In the
it.
back there when you leave. Did you bring a present? You brought me a present, didn't you?
Just good wishes.
Okay.
Lots of them.
Thank you. And I'd like to welcome up Park Planning and Development Manager Laura Taylor.
Good evening, Chair Langen and members of the board. Tonight, staff is presenting to you two documents that we are requesting that the Board of Directors authorize the General Manager to sign. One of them is a temporary easement to enter and construct on the Larchmont Community Park. And the other document that goes hand in hand is the letter agreement establishing the restoration requirements for the park after the northern part has been used as a staging area. And so those documents are being signed with the Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency, otherwise known as SAFCA. I have here in the audience tonight, Matt DeGroot is from SAFCA here in order to provide any support if needed or answer any questions that might come up. So in early 2023, SAFCA requested the use of 3.6 acres of the park's northern section as a staging area for the United States Army Corps of Engineers levee work. This area lies north of the parking lot, tennis courts, playground, and picnic area. The impact to the facilities, the park users, and the neighbors have been assessed through the environmental impact documents, two of them, that have been approved by the three agencies partnering on the project. And the three project partners are the Army Corps of Engineers, the Central Valley Flood Protection Board, and the the Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency. So SAFCA is our local area agency that is responsible for securing the temporary access for the use by the Army Corps of Engineers. And so that's why SAFCA is the signatory on these two documents. The environmental impact reports determined that the park is one of the few viable staging areas and is required to perform the levee work. The restoration work, once the construction work of the levees has pulled out, will be conducted through a separate contract between CRPD and SAFCA, and that is documented in the separate letter agreement. And so that establishes the restoration requirements for the Larchmont Community Park. So that protects us to make sure that our park is restored fully to its existing or better conditions, right? So in the analysis of this whole project, this agenda item, it addresses only the temporary construction easement and the letter agreement. The district has no jurisdiction over the levee construction. The levee itself is outside of the Larchmont Community Park property. So questions related to the levee project should be directed to SAFCA. The Army Corps anticipates that the use of the staging area will be for about 33 months between May 1st of 2026 and January 31st of 2028. The temporary construction easement, also known as a TCE, includes the option for SAFCA to extend the term for up to an additional year until January 31st, 2030, in the case of project delays. There are two soccer fields currently in the TCE area that are used by Union Sacramento FC, a soccer league, under an MOU with the district. The soccer league will need an alternate location to continue to run a portion of their program without interruption during the time that the TCE area is fenced off. The soccer league will continue to use the park soccer field south of the tennis courts through the construction period. Safeco and the Soccer League entered into an agreement on December 17th, 2025 that requires Safeco to reimburse the Soccer League for expenses to upgrade and rent 2 existing fields from the adjacent elementary school site. So the Soccer League is in coordination with the Sacramento City Unified School District and is preparing to start using the school fields for their program on May 1st of 2026. The Army Corps of Engineers will access the staging area in the park from 2 temporary earthen berms built at the northeast and the northwest end of the park. There will be no truck traffic or contractor personnel vehicle traffic on the streets adjacent to the park. The American River Parkway levee and park staging area will be fenced off during the Army Corps' construction. No trees on the park property will be removed, and they will be protected from construction damage. The park restoration work performed by Safeco after the Army Corps of Engineers has finished the levee work will continue to utilize the temporary earthen ramps for access to keep construction traffic off of the local roads. The northern park area being restored will be entirely fenced while Safeco's contractor does the restoration and as the Bermuda sod establishes, and that will take approximately 5 months. An appraisal by Pattison and Associates was valued the 3.8 temporary easement area at $139,100 for a 33-month term, and that will be payable to the district 30 days before May 1st of 2026. If the project is extended by 1 year, then the district will receive an additional $51,000. So if the board approves, the general manager will sign the TCE and the letter agreement. Safeco will record the TCE with Sacramento County. The fence staging area is scheduled to start anytime after May 1st, 2026. So that concludes my report, and if you have any additional questions, I may be able to answer them, or I may defer them to Matt, depending on what the question is.
Yeah, do we want to start down at the inn with Director Sloan?
You asked the audience for,
We already did.
oh, I didn't hear. Can't hear down here. Okay, I've got some comments to make. And I've been thinking about these comments for a long time because it's whenever these decisions come to me as a representative of the park board and representing my constituents out there in District 4, where I live. I use that stretch of the river. I'm reminded of my oath here is to do what's best for the district. Always take that into consideration. And I remember several years ago when I was on the breakfast steering committee, they had a renovation where they raised the levee 3 feet. And they came in and raised it 3 feet. It was messy, noisy, and when they left it a mess. And it took us years to get them to come back, come back and fix it. Or took us a long time they had to restore it. And so the fact that we have a contract, and our staff went to bat, and our legal counsel went to bat, to create this contract, so to speak, leaving our property in as is or better. I like the better part always, and give Early Wine a nicer field, which I think you can see in the photograph on page 43. Is that their property down below? Is that field by the school? Is that what is going to be the one they're going to renovate?
Well, it's on the southwest side of the school.
So on page 43, it shows our schematic, and it's the bottom left-hand corner. That's the
Oh, okay, let me
That's
check.
Larchmont Community Park still. And those soccer fields that are on that part of the park will still be utilized?
No, this part down here.
Would you like me to bring the map up?
This is the park, the field you're talking about, right?
I can bring the map up, and then I can show you with a cursor where the fields are on the early
Do
line.
we know on the school's property, is that the location on the school's
Yeah, I
property?
drive by it all the time. There's a big green field south of the school.
I don't,
Right, you can see it on the lower corner, page
This is the
43.
area that they're doing.
So I just wanted to get that, it's not park prop.
It's going to be part of it.
Right, so that's where the fields are gonna be, okay, that's fine.
okay.
So, just with that in mind, my opinion, our opinion here tonight, it's not gonna change the scope of the work of the renovation. It's not gonna change the Army Corps. What's gonna take that is, the army of people that are fighting against it, which I know a lot of them too. Just to save some of the trees, because they did remove a lot of trees for the first time they came out there, when they did our renovation. And with the thought of whether we vote, if we were to not vote this to approve it, eminent domain could just take up that property away from us, and they can leave it however they want to leave it, which could be a shambles. And I think the right thing to do is to protect the district's property. And also, the last question I have here is, where are the employees going to park while they're going to be parking in the neighborhood? They're not going to park in our parking lot, I hope.
No, they are, the agreement specifically says that the personnel working on the project will drive to the staging area in the park from the levees. So they're going to use the same access points that the trucks are using onto the levees, which is the Mayhew Drain on one end and Watt Avenue on the other. They're not going to be driving through the neighborhood
They're not going to
streets.
park in the parking lot by the park.
They're not going to park in the parking lot, they will park within the fenced staging area.
Okay. All right, well, I think that's all I have to say.
Okay.
Director Danzel?
Yes, I did read over the letters that were sent to us, and I thank the public for voicing their opinion on this. Director Sloan asked some of the same questions I had about parking and some of the field renovation, and the comment about eminent domain. That's the scary part, because we're dealing with the federal government here, in a sense, and right now, it looks like, this project, they're going to try and do it regardless of what's going to happen. I know there is an injunction on the levy side, but we, as Director Sloan said, we need to protect the district, and right now, the way to protect our district is to make sure that we're getting some compensation for this area. If for some reason the injunction happens and it never happens, well, at least we've protected ourselves and our assets for our communities. So that's where I sit on this. Thank you.
Secretary Yearwood?
Yeah, I just had one question, and just a comment you had made during the presentation, and I don't know if I missed it, but you said this location was one of their desirable locations. Were there other options for this staging area?
There were actually, I could probably turn that over to Matt. He's the real estate expert on this. So would you like to answer that question?
Good evening. Matt Terrell, Real Estate Program Manager with Safeco. So when the Corps did their initial assessment on viable staging areas, there were, well, there's not a lot of areas here because it's a dense area. There was one identified, a potential one, but it was miles away. So it was much worse, a situation for just haul routes and everything. So this was really the only viable staging
This
area.
was the closest spot to where the work was going to actually be done.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that was all. That was the only question I had. The other, my fellow board members had voiced some of my same concerns and comments. So, thank you.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Yes, I share the sentiment with the other members as well. I just have some questions too. So the equipment staging area, can we require at least during the dry times of the year that they just at least, you know, how construction sites with dust and everything else to kind of help mitigate the environmental impact. We can kind of do our part of just have a water truck, just go through and just water everything and try to keep the dust and dirt down the best we can. And then do we have rules in place too with this property, for at least on our part, of noise? So like there's no fired up trucks at 6 in the morning? Or
Wouldn't that all defer back to county ordinance?
Yeah, I believe right now, the working hours are going to be Monday through Saturday, only daylight hours.
okay.
So, it's, they usually start around 8 or 7 or 8 o'clock probably. It's daylight hours, it's standard construction procedures.
Okay, you're just trying to, help out as much as we can with
Yeah,
what
and
we have. So.
they will be practicing dust suppression also.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And then on that last year agreement, if we have to go into there, is there a step increase on the value of that lease? Do we get an extra? Nope.
Oh, we do, actually.
No, there is not.
There's not, okay. Yes, and that's pretty much I appreciate the letters, I appreciate the comments that came through, and believe me, I did read them, listen to them, but at the same time, it's just, it's scary with eminent domain, whereas, we're doing the best that we can to protect what we have and the assets we have, and we have to protect our district. Thank you.
First of all, I just want to thank the public for their comments, the letters that we received. Definitely appreciate that insight. Thank you for the presentation too, Laura. Just it was great, just with kind of how concise it was, but also very clear. And so my fellow board members have posed a lot of the questions that I had, and so I don't have any questions at this time.
One more question.
Yes.
Staff. Regarding the noise and the vibration and the air quality, will they be monitoring that during this project? Because, that's an important thing that you brought up, I think.
I know the Corps typically does vibration monitoring for their projects, but I can't really speak to this one right now, but I can find out and get back to you on that.
Because I was talking to ex-supervisor Don Natoli, and he mentioned that during the other previous renovation, there was significant vibrations that did cause cracking in some of the homes. And I think you said you live pretty close to the levee. And so, is Safeco going to help the homeowners that might want to at least have it monitored, that their houses are in this condition now, and then what shape they're going to be in when the project's done?
Yeah, I will say for this construction, it is on the water side of the levee, and it's placing, riprap primarily on the water side. So a lot less than digging down below the levee and doing a slurry wall or compacting in that way. But I can get back to you on what level of vibration monitoring will be done.
So actually, the home distance is further than the other renovation that was done?
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion?
Chair Langdon, I move the Board of Directors authorize the General Manager to sign a temporary easement and enter construction and letter agreement with the Sacramento Flood District Control Agency and allow the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers access to describe the northern portion of Largemont Community Park, APN 075-0010-050, for the purpose of construction contract 3B for the American River Levee Common Features 2026 or 2016 project.
I have a motion by Director Danzel,
I'll second.
a second by Secretary Yearwood. Roll call vote.
Director Slaney?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langdon?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item G2, adopt and waive the full second reading of ordinance 25, 2026-1, ordinance of the Board of Directors of the Cordova Recreation and Park District adopting rules and regulations for the use of district skate park facilities. At this time, we've received no speaker cards. However, is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, I'd like to welcome up Director of Parks and Recreation, Jill Nuns.
Thank you. Good evening, Chair Langen and the members of the board. This item is ordinance 25/26-1, an ordinance of the Board of Directors of the Cordova Recreation and Park District adopting rules and regulations for the use of district skate park facilities. This is the second time this ordinance has been presented to the board. There have been no changes to the ordinance between the first and second readings. The only additional action since the prior reading is that the public notice was published in the Grapevine on Friday, January 16th, 2026. So given that this is a second reading with no changes, I ask that you please adopt the ordinance and waive the full second reading. Be happy to answer any questions that the board has.
Start at the end of the dais with Director Sloan.
I have no questions.
Director Danzel.
None.
Secretary Yearwood.
I have none.
Vice Chair Mattis.
None.
And I have none as well. Do I have a motion?
I move the Board of Directors to adopt and waive the full second reading of ordinance 25/26-1, ordinance of the Board of Directors of the Cordova Recreation and Park District adopting rules and regulations for the use of district state park facilities.
I have a motion by Vice Chair Mattis. Do I have a second?
Second. I don't know.
Second by Director Danzel. Roll call vote.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye.
Thank you.
That brings us to H, Board of Directors items.
Item H1, Board Officers, Appointments, Elections, Ad Hoc Committee Appointments. Item A, Nominate Directors to Board Standing Committees for the 2026 term. At this time, we've received no speaker cards. However, is there anyone that would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, I'll highlight a few items from the staff report. Traditionally, committee appointments occur at the first regular meeting following the election of board officers. A standing committee is a permanent, ongoing subcommittee established to address specific issues regularly and must conform to the Brown Act. The standing committees the board may choose to activate are the Budget and Finance Standing Committee and the District Policy Standing Committee. There is no direct fiscal impact associated with these appointments. Board members are compensated $100 per meeting attended, up to 6 meetings per month, which includes the standing committee meetings. Chairperson Langen would make nominations through separate motions, and the board would then vote on each motion. Alternates for standing committee meetings may be assigned by the chairperson if the need arises. I'll turn it over to Chair Langen.
All right. First up, we have the Budget and Finance Standing Committee, and I nominate Directors Yearwood and Sloan for the Budget and Finance Standing Committee for 2026. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Roll call vote.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye. And next, the District Policy Standing Committee. I nominate Directors Danzel and Yearwood for the District Policy Standing Committee for 2026 term. Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Director Sloan?
Aye.
Director Danzel?
Aye.
Secretary Yearwood?
Aye.
Vice Chair Mattis?
Aye.
Chair Langen?
Aye.
Item B, appoint directors to board ad hoc committees for the 2026 term. At this time, we have received no speaker cards. However, is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, I'll add some highlights. Traditionally, committee appointments occur at the first regular meeting following the election of board officers. An ad hoc committee is a temporary special purpose committee formed to handle a specific task, and under Government Code 54952B are exempt from the Brown Act. The ad hoc committees the board may choose to activate are PMRID Oversight Committee nominations, however, there are no terms expiring in 2026, park naming, District/City of Rancho Cordova 2x2, School District 2x2, and the capital improvement and park construction. Similarly to the standing committees, there's no direct fiscal impact associated with these appointments. Chairperson Langdon would like to appoint directors to serve on the ad hoc committees if desired. I'll turn it over to you, Chair Langdon.
All right. Our first ad hoc committee is the park naming. This year, we will not be appointing anyone. So the second, I appoint directors Langen and Mattis for the Cordova Recreation and Park District, City of Rancho Cordova 2x2 Ad Hoc Committee for 2026. And then for the school 2x2,
Don't we need a vote?
No.
no.
Oh, ad hoc, okay, gotcha.
And then on number 3, for the school district 2x2, I appoint directors Mattis and Danzel for the school district 2x2 ad hoc committees for the 2026 term. And for the capital improvements and park construction ad hoc committee, I appoint directors Langen and Sloan for the capital improvements and park construction ad hoc committee for the 2026 term.
Item H2, board member reports. Item H2A is the training report, which included chair and vice chair Gravel to Greatness training. Item H2B is the community activities report. Please note on the following item that a clerical error was made. Director Danzel attended Polar Bear Plunge, the CRPD conference, and the CRPD board meeting in January. At this time, we have received no speaker cards. However, would anyone like to make a public comment? Seeing none, I'll turn it back over to you, Chair Langen.
I also attended the training.
Yeah, we're gonna have to report out on it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll hear all about it, Mark.
Sorry, one second.
So you and Mark have to report.
Yeah. Vice Chair Mattis, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so I'm so excited about it. It was the first ever training, wasn't it?
It
for
was,
chair?
yes.
Oh, yeah, so it was the
Yes.
first ever training for vice chair and chair. So it was really good to kind of learn the different rules and what's the expectations of the roles. So I think it was a very good, well-presented piece, very good information for us, and be great down the road to have, in your guys' bag of trainings to have for the districts.
Yeah, I would say it was a great training just to be able to learn more, continually learn about the chair position and the vice chair position. And I think it's a great training to be able to have, as Vice Chair Mattis said, in our back pockets for if we want to share that with others, or if any of the other directors would like to go through it. It was a great training, just a great reminder. I know if I'm chair again, then I will probably want to do it because it's only once every so often. So thank you very much, and job well done. Yeah. All right, the committee activity reports, we'll start with Director Sloan.
Okay. Okay, on Saturday, January 10th, I attended my first, I apologize, it's my first, but Polar Bear Plunge. Because the other ones always were so early in the morning, and it was, this one was at 11 o'clock, so I got my beauty sleep.
Did you attend or participate?
He attended.
No, I didn't jump in. No, so I needed to get photographs of it because I was asked by a local organization, do I have any photos of that? I go, no, I don't. And that's that, for me to say that is like, yes, I felt so uncomfortable that I didn't, so now I do. I posted some, I hope you guys saw some of them.
I did not miss them.
The next thing, it was a nice event, and I heard we somehow made around, was it $3,000 something, which was nice. And it's always, and I don't know what the numbers were compared to was it earlier, before it was 9 o'clock, and now it was 11 o'clock, what the number in attendance was, so I'd like to know that later on, maybe you guys can.
I think we're going to start it at 7 a.m. next year.
7 a.m.?
No, just kidding.
7 p.m. maybe.
It was about the same amount of attendance as years past. It's, a pretty well-attended event at this point. It's grown throughout the years. So, yeah, it was a pretty average amount of folks. Brian, don't you think?
Yes.
The only thing that I would have liked to have seen is to separate kids from the adults, because my photographs were trying to get everybody, and that's a big, long line of people. So if I was able to get close-up of the adults jumping in and the kids jumping in, I'd have much nicer photographs.
May I suggest you move out into the pool?
Are we into the middle of the pool?
I'll give you a raft next year.
The adults were at one end and the kids were at the shallow end, which, the next thing, on January 13th, the CRPD held its first ad hoc committee for forming a foundation. And our committee has agreed upon starting the wheels turning in creating a foundation. And we have the foundation, some of the goals for the foundation that we're going to form is to help for scholarships and training programs that we can offer members, besides what we do now, covering the costs of some maybe guest speakers at some of our conferences, and providing grants and general finance support to member districts that are in need. We have a lot of smaller districts that need a lot more support than the bigger districts that don't get as much funding. So that's one thing. I'll be working on the branding for a logo for that organization, and I think we're slated in February to come back to the board with some ideas and formation. It will be a seven-person board members composed of appointments from the CRPD board, and I think some possible sponsors. I think that's what that says here, and conference sponsors that could be on that board. And that's it for that. On Tuesday, January 20th, just last night, I attended the It Takes a Lincoln Village community meeting, and they've given me their new list of events that will be in Lincoln Village Community Park. And I think they'll probably be talking to people here. I hope they've already talked to people here, because they picked days and are ready for they're going to have a celebration in April. They're going to have a service day, spring service day. In May, they're going to have art in the park. In June, they're going to have they decided to have the fourth Fridays of June, July, August, and September, the fourth Friday, to do a dinner and movie night in the park. So I don't know if they've approached a district yet, but they've given us these dates.
I would recommend that when you get handed a list from one of those committees, that you immediately contact the staff, because we're not on the same page at this point.
Oh, we're not. I didn't think so, but I thought they're going to contact you, or, so. All right, well then, the game, they're going to have intention treats, which they had this year. They want to do that again, and then they're going to have the holiday parade, which was very successful, and they were grateful that the Park District was part of that. And the next thing was, today, the CRPD had a board meeting, and I'm going to, well, we talked about the budget, the 2.9 billion shortfall, and all the 23 billion in total reserves, and 14.4 in the rainy day fund. These are things that Matt probably knows all about. We talked about our conference, and I'm going to actually let Director Danzel talk about the conference since he's on the conference committee. He knows a lot more than I do. I think that's all I have. I think that's all.
January 9th, attended the CARPD Conference Committee. A few of the things we discussed is obviously it's coming up in May. At the time, we had 15 sponsors for about $35,000. We're up to 25 sponsors, about $50,000 as of this morning. Our attendees have only gone up 8 since earlier this month. We had 20, now we have 28 attendees currently. We were told by Mr. Duarte this morning that once the early bird registration gets there, we'll start getting lots more because that's where that big push is, and I think that's in March. But I know our staff is already on the ball and has asked for that information, whether we wanted to go or not, so at least they're ahead on that schedule. We received 18 submissions for speakers. We have 8 to 10 slots, so the committee went through and talked about, what the field we want for this conference is going to be, and also that the conference over the last few years is getting staff heavy, with about almost half the attendees being board members now, that there's not a lot of training for the board, so we're going to start making some shifts. So the board has some things this year. It's going to fall under the roundtables where we're going to start asking for some different things and forcing this to change, because there's a reason for board members to be there, and so they know what's going on, as we found out today, and I'll explain that in a minute. But that's where we are, and then there's talk of a proposed golf tournament the day before the conference starts. So like I said, that's at the end of May. January 10th, I attended Polar Plunge. Once again, it's a great, it is a great, great event, and it continues to grow, which I'm grateful for. I have attended every one of them. I have participated in all but 2. The last 2, last year I wasn't feeling well, and this year I once again woke up and not feeling well, and I don't know if it's my bones saying don't do it again, or and the nerves kicking in or what, but it's always it's a great event, and the staff does a great job, and the community comes out, and they like to be cold, I guess, so that's a great thing. And then today we did attend the CRPD board meeting where we discussed, as Director Sloan talked about budget, this, that, and the other, once again, conference, because we had a report out on that. There is a district, which I will not name, that is having a problem with a fellow agency, not a park district, but a city, and they, in a sense, jumped the gun, and instead of asking for help, they went to the Attorney General of the state of California to solve their problem, and our board has decided to sit back and see whether this grabs any ground or not. And General Manager Lark and I will go over that with you later, because it is something you need to know about. But we're going to sit back and wait and see if it, grows legs, and if it does, then our board will get involved and make a recommendation on how things need to be done. And one of the things I did miss in conference committee, but we did discuss it today, is that there will be a reception this year at conference at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, as one of the nights for and the aquarium will be shut down just to CARPD for that conference. And that is what I have. End of report.
Secretary Yearwood?
Let's just swim with the jellyfish.
I've got nothing, sir.
I'm hoping.
Thank you for asking.
Vice Chair Mattis?
No, nothing to report out.
All right. I have one thing to report out. January 10th, Saturday of the Polar Bear Plunge. CFO Goodell and I were the brave souls that that jumped in. I will say that I don't know, maybe I just don't remember last year as well, but it seemed a little bit warmer than last year. It wasn't as cold, but it was still cold. It was still cold. It just wasn't as cold. But yeah, it was cool this year. My kids, my 10-year-old son really wanted to do it, and then he wakes up that morning and goes, it's too cold, I'm not doing it. So I think next year he's going to do it. And then my two little ones, they also wanted to do it, but I was like, no, you're a little too young. So maybe next year they'll go in on the stairs, And then, yeah, it was cool because I actually had, I gave some friends the wrong time, and I was going to have some friends show up. They showed up at about 9:45, 10 o'clock, and we're like, oh, there's nothing really going on here. So, yeah. But it was a great event as always, and it's a ton of fun, so great job with that. That moves us to item I.
Comments by staff on non-agenda items. Item I1, district-wide monthly progress report. At this time, we received no speaker cards. However, is there anyone who would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, I'll hand it over to General Manager Patrick Larkin.
Thank you, Clerk Elena. All right, just some highlights from the past month. The district board members and staff donated $1,135 worth of Target gift cards to support Folsom Cordova Unified School District's Families in Transition program. There's a nice picture there on page 63 of the report. Andrea was able to go to their celebration and give them the gift cards in person. So thank you, Andrea, for that. Speaking of that, this is the first move forward with a new look and feel for the monthly staff report. So great job, Shelby and communications staff. The formatting is fantastic. It's a lot more readable and transparent. So kudos to staff for entering their information in, and I hope you guys will enjoy the new way forward. So in addition to that, Riviera East Park Tennis Courts, staff is working on a design document package to renovate the 2 tennis courts at Riviera East Park. The project is expected to be completed before the end of the current fiscal year and will consist of new surfacing, nets, fencing, ADA improvements, and if the funding allows, shaded seating. We are also moving forward with Prospect Hill Park Shade Project. Staff is working with Callender and Associates on renovating the existing picnic facilities with a new shade shelter, tables and barbecue, and to provide shade to as much of the existing play equipment as feasible for the site and conditions. This project is currently under design. With that particular project, we are going to do a community outreach meeting, most likely in the spring. And then from there, we'll get additional information from the residents. If tweaks are necessary or required, we make some adjustments, but we're looking to complete that project by the end of the calendar year. Mather Sports Complex soccer field turf replacement. Verde Design is assisting the district with the design and replacement of the artificial turf on the south soccer field at Mather Sports Complex. This project is scheduled to be completed in late spring of this year. A lot of things going on. White Rock Community Park, the Community Well project. Remember back in 2023, Cal-Am came to the board and asked for approval to develop the area of White Rock Park in the back corner for a new well. They have started construction, and staff are meeting with them weekly to make sure that the conditions are being met based on the contract and approval. And so far, so good. If you go out there, you will see that there is some construction, ground moving, and we're excited to work with them in the same time that we're also working on our community dog park. So it's good timing, and we're going to hopefully match that so that we're doing all of that construction at one time. The Ranch Community Park, exciting news. Hopefully they will start construction in the spring of this year on that park. And then Community Park at Grant Line 208, Arista del Sol. Word on the street is that people are asked to give us some suggestions for names. So you may have seen that on our social media sites. And we will collect those names and we will filter them for appropriateness and bring those as suggestions to the board when we look to have you do the park naming for that particular park. We have a lot of construction projects. Kudos to Laura and her staff. They are working overtime, extra, to make sure that all of this stuff is covered, and I just appreciate you guys' attention to detail and making sure that we are getting what we need to continue to be successful. Going back into Sunridge Park Phase 3, Lot A update, which is an extension of Exploration Park. We are accepting a small 0.04 acre parcel adjacent to Exploration Park as a part of the property. That was because at original design, there was a school slated from Elk Grove Unified School District. They chose not to use that site as our neighbor, and instead a developer came in and are building houses. And so therefore, we're doing an entry into that neighborhood to the park, so they'll have better access. And with that, just a couple of highlights with our grants. We should be hearing hopefully in February on the Lincoln Village Community Park renovation project that we have requested $3.170 million for that. And then also the Dave Roberts Community Renovation Project, which is a request for $3,825,000. We're anticipating hearing back from the grantors in February. So more news hopefully coming soon on that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the amazing Jill Nuns.
Well, thank you. Hello again and Happy New Year. So I'll start with a quick update on our feasibility studies. Over the past few weeks, district staff met several times with ArchNexus and Ballard King to finalize the reports for the Mather Sports Center and the center property. Those discussions have helped us ensure that the final reports align with our goals, community needs, and long-term planning. So we feel confident in where those have landed, and we'll see them as a solid foundation moving forward. Community events, we've already mentioned a few of the community events that CRPD has hosted over the last month. We've got the Breakfast with Santa, so we appreciate the Neil Orchard Senior Activities staff putting on that event. It was a great turnout. And we also had the Polar Bear Plunge, which has already been mentioned. And we did have a couple of our staff members, as well as GM Larkin and our board members, who participated in the Lincoln Village Holiday Parade, which is the first time that we participated in that, and looking forward to participating that next year as well. They did a great job. Staff did a great job with the float, so I appreciate their help. I'll share a few highlights from Park Services over the past month. At Hagan Community Park, the barbecue pits at the pavilion received a much-needed upgrade, including newly fabricated grills and improved mechanisms. We want to thank Will Hart for fabricating the new barbecues in-house. If you haven't seen them, they look fantastic. So good job, Park Services and Will Hart. At Rosemont Community Park, a vandalized playground slide was replaced. When installation issues came up, staff quickly resolved them and completed the repair within a tight time frame. And so we were able to get that slide back up and running so that the little ones could enjoy it again. And then at Stone Creek Community Park, a little bit of a park planning and park services project there. So phase 1 was the walkway path repairs were completed with 12 concrete sections. And then phase 2 was the park services team came in and focused on removing tree roots and installing root barriers to help prevent future damage, which will go a long way with extending the life of the pathway. Those trees along that pathway are just a lot for that pathway. So I appreciate a team effort on trying to get the longevity out of our new concrete out there at Stone Creek. In recreation, we are excited to announce that the Hideout Teen Center received a generous $1,250 donation from Golden State Warrior Company, so yay, Golden State. Their support will allow us to purchase fun and educational items for the center and helps ensure the Hideout continues to provide a safe, inclusive, and engaging space for our local teens. So thank you, Golden State Water. Basketball season just wrapped up. The junior NBA basketball season, winter season, wrapped up in December and was another big success. We had 146 players from kindergarten through 5th grade across 15 teams, supported by, of course, our 28 volunteers, where the coaches did an outstanding job and truly made it a fun and positive experience for everyone involved. Our senior programs also had another active month. with several trips and a well-enjoyed winter wonderland lunch and some singing by staff members, which I'm not sure they enjoyed so much. And then at the Cordova Golf Course, you think with all this like crazy weather, it's been kind of cold and foggy. December was a strong month. We saw 2,125 rounds played compared to last year, which was 1,917, and revenue increased 4.3% year over year, which is really great to see. So golfers going out in this crazy weather. We were also excited to successfully launch our new Civic Rec on January 12th. So this new recreation platform is designed to improve the community's registration experience. Unfortunately, as part of this transition, though, community members will need to create new accounts when registering for district programs. So we're clearing the slate from the old ActiveNet, bringing on Civic Rec. Everyone will just need to put their information back in, and then boom, off they go to be able to register for all of our programs. So a big thank you to Chase and his team for all their hard work for bringing this project to fruition. It was a ton of work, but in the end, it's going to be a much better system for each end user, the end user registering, as well as us on the recreation side to be able to pull that data. So we're excited about that. And then a shout out to community relations, especially Shelby, for helping us get to that point. So thank you. And then our spring summer recreation guide, you have one in front of you, but hopefully you all received it in the mail. I know the one director, Secretary Michael Yearwood, got his finally on time.
Yay! Wrong address.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, you left the part out about it wasn't even at my street.
But you got
I'll
it.
let you add that, but, you know, at least you got it. That's the
Did
whole
anybody else
point.
experience that?
That's just your area.
It's just
Yeah.
your area.
Yeah,
All the
but see
houses
your
must,
address.
yeah,
Mine
look
was
the same.
addressed to a totally different street and number, yeah.
Okay.
I got
But everyone
mine at the
hopefully
town.
received them. So the hard copies were available and are available at all of our community centers, the golf course, the district here. So we're excited that they're out and people are starting to register for those spring and summer programs. And then finally, topping our performing content this month was the Lincoln Village Christmas Parade, the Breakfast with Santa, and the Board of Directors recognition. So yay for that. And then a full list of upcoming community happenings can be found on page 83 of your packet. We hope to see you out at some of our events over the next month or so. And with that, that concludes my report.
All right, J, informational items. Item J1 is our articles, correspondence, and public outreach. And item J2 is our district calendar for January and February. At this time, we have received no speaker cards. However, if there's anyone who would like to make a public comment, seeing none, I can pass it back to Chair Langen.
All right, and that leads us to J, adjournment. So, K, adjournment. I adjourn this meeting at 7:32, and until our next scheduled meeting on Wednesday, February 18th at 6:30. Have a great evening.